this is Sanjaya Sharma. I love telling stories, and friends say they have enjoyed listening to them. In Qisse, I share these anecdotes with the wise young Aryan. No wisdom and no advice, but I do look for a smile from you.
Wow. Beautiful.
Who's beautiful?
No, that was for this series of new cars released by Mercedes. They're beautiful. But you didn't have many cars releasing when you were young, right?
Well, until the mid 80s, we in India just had the Fiat and the Ambassador. And there was a two-door Standard, which I think had been discontinued by then.
So when did your parents buy their first car?
They bought their first car and their second car in the same year. And that's a story.
Let's hear it.
You may be surprised to know that when I was a small child, most cooking was done on chulhas. And in the mid-60s, when my father was transferred to Delhi, my mother used to cook on a kerosene stove. Then she heard about a gas stove, and towards the end of 1965, when we were staying in South Extension Part 1, we got a gas stove. At that moment, we didn't have a refrigerator at home. The next year, in 1966, my father took a car loan and bought an Ambassador car, which, although it was a bit bigger than the Fiat, had a shorter waiting list and was also a bit less expensive. I was 7 years old, but I remember the number, DLK 190. My father used to work in the Transport Ministry, and Transport Bhavan was the first building upon Parliament Street, which is now called the Sansad Marg. On the 7th of November 1966, there was a big anti-cow slaughter Andolan by sadhus, which turned violent. As they entered Parliament Street, the first building was the Transport Ministry, and they torched many of the cars parked there. From up high on his floor, my father watched his beloved new car burn, and he ran downstairs to rescue it, but a wiser colleague told him to desist and let the car burn, but keep himself safe. But of course, he was deeply upset, and he had no savings to tide over such an event. Yet sometimes difficult situations resolve themselves in unexpectedly positive ways. The government paid some compensation to the officers whose cars were burnt. And to my surprise, the burnt carcass of the car also fetched some money, some value in the market. The government also allocated a car of choice. So this time my father chose a Fiat. And after the compensation and the sale, he still had a little money left over. So he went and bought a refrigerator. And thus it was that towards the end of 1966, we finally had a gas, a car, and a fridge. And my father had a sense of humor. For the new Fiat, he requested the number DLK 711 to commemorate the date on which the first car had been burnt. We'll be back next week with the next episode. Please like and comment below. And if you like a lot, do share.
Also, subscribe to our channel Qisse so that you don't miss out on any Qissa by the OG.
YOE.
What's YOE?
Years of experience.